6:02, it's official now. Nearly 20 years after Congress passed the Real ID Act, the deadline is here.
So starting today, you will need a Real ID or another enhanced type of identification in order to fly. If you don't already have one, be ready to wait. Lines at the Spokane Valley DOL yesterday were more than 3 hours long for walk-ins. And if you have a flight coming up, keep in mind, it can take over a week to get the physical copy of your Real ID in the mail. And as of this morning, TSA is now following Real ID security standards across the country.
KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live at the Spokane International Airport this morning. So, Brandon, tell us more about what people need to know about flying with this Real ID. Luckily this morning, you're telling us you're not seeing any major backups at the Spokane Airport, right?
No, that's exactly right. Good morning, Tim, Nicole. Well, when we first got out here, probably around 4:40 or so, the line was pretty long, but that's typical for this time of the day. This is the busiest time, at least, or that time. Earlier was the busiest time here normally at the Spokane International Airport, but we got a chance to speak with, some of the airport officials. It's all the lanes for TSA were open. They knocked down the line extremely quick, and all hands have been on deck. So things moving nice and smooth here. As you can see, the lines are virtually empty at this point. So not much of a wait, and if you come here later, I imagine it might be similar to that as well. But we did get a chance to speak with TSA officials ahead of this deadline, just to kind of see how they were handling this new security standard that they'd have to be following, and then also any firsthand advice they would offer travelers. For starters though, if you are traveling today or in the near future and don't have a Real ID, there are other acceptable forms of identification. That includes a U.S. passport or a passport card. Here in Washington, once you get that Real ID, it's ultimately going to be an enhanced driver's license. That's an accepted form of identification, military credentials, global entry, and then you can find a full list of acceptable IDs on TSA.gov. If you have none of those, you will likely run into some delays and have to go through extra security screening.
Identity verification is a cornerstone of aviation security, and we need to make sure the person standing in front of the TSA officer presenting the ID is the person who has been vetted to travel that day, is the person who we know doesn't pose an inherent security threat. So that's what all of this is about.
So again, things moving nice and smooth here at the airport. Not much of a backup on either side. So we've walked both of the different terminals and have been able to check in. You guys have your Real ID? You guys have your Real ID? Passports. Oh, see? Yep, they're good to go. Folks are good to go out here. Nice and moving smooth here at the Spokane International Airport. But again, just the ultimate message is that, there is going to be a new security standard here in place. So those list of IDs that we gave you, those are all going to be acceptable forms, including a passport, as you heard some of the guests here, or the travelers here, just mentioned to us as well. But we'll continue to hang out here at the airport. We'll have more information, more of those details throughout the entire morning, and then also get a chance to speak with travelers as well. For now, I'll go ahead and toss it back to you all in the studio.
Hey Brandon, real quick, we do have some people wondering, do the Real ID rules affect people who have TSA pre-check?
Yes, actually. So if you've got TSA pre-check, you've got to have that Real ID in place as well. Having the pre-check isn't a means to bypass those real identification methods or, any of those other acceptable forms of ID as well. So you do have to have that Real ID for TSA pre-check as well.
Thank you, Brandon. That was him live at the airport this morning. Well, at 9 o'clock this morning, Brandon, as well as some other reporters across the inland Northwest, will be live for special coverage on KREM 2+. We'll have crews at airports all across the Pacific Northwest showing us how Real ID is affecting travel. Download KREM 2+ on your TV and watch for free.